trans women should be participating in
Zero.
women's sports.
Zero.
Fully agree.
No,
We also have the Leah Thomas thing, right?
It's ridiculous. I don't think they should be in our bathrooms either.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, the bathrooms thing is silly. Obviously, you should go to the bathroom that like you express as.
What?
Express as?
Do you all know who Blair White is?
We can see.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Do you want Blair White walking into the bathroom with like a little boy? Or do you want Buck
don't know
Angel
who it is.
walking into a bathroom with like a little girl? Obviously, we
just-
believe that you should probably go to the bathroom that you express as.
I
That makes the most
I would
sense.
just prefer to not see dicks in the locker room. That's just my.
Then don't
Maybe
look
they
at
just have
people.
their
I
own
feel like that's a
bathroom.
fair
That's
ask.
just
Yeah.
my personal opinion, and I also think it's like a safety concern.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the majority of trans people are going to take advantage of it. It's just I think that opens the door to someone that will.
I don't
And
think so. There's not a single time like the legendary like trans rapist that's like making their way through the bathrooms, like, and the fact that if this person did exist, like some woman would be running through the store and she goes into the bathroom and like the sign stops the trans person from going in and raping her. Like also, no offense, I have a son. I want all the trans rapists in the women's bathroom, okay? Like, that doesn't make sense either, right? Like, if there are all these rapists, why do you want them going to the boys' bathroom instead? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I reject the whole bathroom narrative as super silly.
I
I don't think
agree,
most
I
people
agree.
care that
So
much.
you
I
would
think
be
that people...
okay with a man walking into the bathroom dressed, a man dressed as a woman walking into the women's bathroom?
I think that whatever
That's
you...
clearly a man.
I think
A
that
beard and all.
I think that whatever you clearly express as is probably where you go.
But they're confused. If you have a beard with a wig on and a dress, and you're walking in the girls' bathroom, you're not a woman.
Sure,
You're confused.
Maybe not, but like, what is happening in there? Like, bro, I don't know.
I have experienced that. I've
There are
experienced that.
countries-
Tell us
I've
we have
experienced
to
that.
deal with this.
Well,
What
we
are
would have to deal
gonna
with trans men coming in the fucking male bathroom as well, right?
I think they should have their own bathroom. That's really, it's
I agree.
inappropriate.
Okay, you think there should be
I
trans
agree with that.
bathrooms? Okay,
Yes,
sure. If you want
let
that,
there be a
you can
trans
just
bathroom.
believe it or not, there are countries, okay, where you can go. Fucking, I spent a lot of time in fucking Stockholm because my wife is Swedish. There are gender-neutral bathrooms. Nobody's getting raped. It's crazy. Everybody goes in. They all have their little fucking stuff.
let me
Everybody
ask
comes
you
out.
this.
Nobody's raping each other.
Let me-
Let me say one thing.
From the perspective of a locker room, like in a locker room, you walk around naked, like
True that.
An athlete.
Number one, a lot of conservatives will use this bathroom thing as a straw man argument. All my kids are getting raped in bathrooms. It's not happening.
It's not even
But
that.
here's an indicator. There's a case example of why they say that the America is crumbling and China is thriving. Hear me out.
Yeah.
You think they're having trans bathroom arguments in countries like China that is lapping USA as far
agree.
as like GDP?
I agree.
Here we are on a panel. We could talk about anything, and we're going ham on bathroom trans bearded dudes.
I agree, yeah.
And we're just spending time as a country talking about stuff that doesn't affect our lives even a little bit.
I think to
Okay,
some-
hold on. Whereas in other countries, they are like, get shit done, work, make shit happen. Let the Americans play their little, hide the hot dog game in the trans fucking bathroom situation while we're getting lapped by China. That's my problem with this.
I agree
It's
with
like
you.
this is such not an issue that anyone gives shit a bit about. And this goes back to my bigger point. If there's a women's panel and there's 8 women on the panel, you're telling me you have 2 trans women? Okay? If you had 100 women on a panel, 100, you can maybe make the case for making 1 trans woman. Maybe. On a 10-woman panel, you're putting 2 trans on there? Get the fuck out of here, Vice.
And I'm fascist because I don't
Yeah.
want to play with men in sports.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
sports thing is fair. The thing
Yeah.
that you brought up, first of all, China has like 2 billion fucking people, okay?
1.5.
Wait, they're going to pass us eventually. All right.
I know, but-
Probably. Okay.
yeah, the
it's
more
not
we
going to be.
foc-
It's
the
not
more
going to be
we
because we're
focus
talking about
on
trans
bathroom-
bathrooms. Okay.
But the
also,
more we focus on that,
sure. I'll agree with you.
we're
Then tell
losing.
conservatives to stop fucking obsessing over it so much.
I agree with
okay?
you.
All right. Because
This is the
that's
straw
some
man
shit that's
argument.
brought up by conservatives all the fucking time.
Okay.
They
Fully
want
agree
to
with you.
obsess.
But then, dude, liberals always take the bait.
That is
Exactly.
true. Progressives take the bait.
yeah.
I agree. They
Because
do.
they get
I would
snowflakes.
I would just like to say, I just would rather not see dicks in the bathroom. That's just my personal
agreed.
preference.
And it's not even about being raped. Like, you can be out and you're at a dinner place and they're at a bar. This person comes in drunk. They're aggressive. They're a man in a woman's bathroom. They cut the line. Now it's a fight. And then he knocks her out. Like, there's more than just being raped. You can have an overly, like, I've experienced that. I was in the bathroom. This man walked in with a beard and a dress, and he thought I stole his phone, and he got aggressive with me, and I had to leave the bathroom. I'm the woman in the bathroom, and it's like, you feel the need to come in here because you feel like I'm dressed this way, so I can come into the bathroom. that's where it, like, for me, it's like I have more of a worry of that than like being raped in a bathroom. If you want me to be honest, by
I'm with
these
you. I'd
people.
rather not see dicks in the bathroom too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at other guys'
Including a
dicks.
male's
Yeah, I
bathroom.
don't usually look at dicks in the
good.
bathroom, but I don't know
Guys,
if there's other bathroom habits you guys are
PSA out there, okay? For all the guys in the bathroom, face forward, all right? There's no talking to the side in the urinal. How's your day? There's no coming from behind, giving a massage. This ain't the fucking movies. Along Came Polly, all right?
Well,
face forward, don't talk.
I mean, I'm just
That goes to
thinking-
Uber drivers as well. Just drive me around.
I'm just thinking like of locker rooms. So when you're like you walk around half naked when you're in locker rooms. Like I don't want a dude in the bathroom.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's such a weird
shifting
American
gears-
fucking fascination
shifting
with like
gears.
nudity and boobs and dicks and everything. It's like so fucking
look,
cancerous.
yeah,
it's like
I'm
so
sorry.
fucking weird.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
look at the
Holy
rise
shit.
of all the confusion with what's going on. There's kids being taught by drag queens at school. Like this is a rise of it. It becomes an issue where it's like you have people who are, change your gender and do all these things, and it's like there's a time and a place for that, and to force it upon people who makes them feel uncomfortable, like that's also unfair as well. And for me to be forced to accept it, that's also like, why do I have to accept this man in the bathroom?
I
think
don't
that's heavily
believe I
exaggerated.
don't believe that you care about that. I don't believe any conservative say, because if it was, where the fuck was the uproar against all of the creepy fucking pageant shows before the trans bathroom shit became a thing? Because of that issue, I will never believe a conservative when they tell me they care about trans kids being groomed or whatever. I just don't believe it. I think it's a niche issue because Republicans have no economic platform. Republicans have no fucking goals for the country. All they can do is obstruct Democrats. They have no idea about what they want to do with anything. So they focus on these really niche fucking cultural issues. There was a survey that came out asking what percentage of the American population do you think is trans? And I think people said like 24%.
Insane.
Holy shit. I like, there are some people where I'd buy the argument that they're obsessed or they're worried about like kids or whatever. But like prior to this, like people would post pictures of taking their like 9-year-old boys to Hooters and it would be a funny fucking Facebook picture. Or you have all of the really creepy, really weird pageantry shit. And nobody seemed to care about any of it back then. But now the trans people are involved. It's like the worst thing ever. So I just don't buy it. I don't believe it. But
Let's leave that there, right there. Okay. So you getting back to the Vice episode, you started off by saying the trans thing, the women in the trans in sports was the one thing you agreed with Pearl on. What did you fundamentally disagree that Pearl said? Because she's a pretty reasonable girl. What did you disagree with?
oh man, you're gonna tax my memory here. I think that the wholesale idea of like women have it easier in every single thing, or there are like no cultural roadblocks preventing women from doing anything, I think it's like a really crude analysis of where we're at socially. That's what I would say.
So you're saying that she's discounting how hard
Yeah, I think
women
that there are issues that women face in a lot of different areas when it comes to like rising in terms of success or in being included in certain like
Okay,
types
so
of.
this is a very interesting dynamic that you guys have going right now. You're the man saying that, like, defending women, and she's the woman shitting on women, essentially. Is that the dynamic I'm understanding? So she's basically saying this is what it is like to be a woman.
I wouldn't
and
say
how-
shitting.
and-
I would say there's no barriers to entry today. There's no,
But I don't think Pearl believes there's no issues that women face. That's different, right?
No, that's literally what she just said. There's no barriers.
No,
Well, no,
there's
literally what she
no
said was
barriers
it's easier for women than men.
No, there's a difference between there's no barriers to entry and there's no issues that a woman can face. You wouldn't say there's no issues a woman can face, is there? Would you?
I mean, there are issues that women face, but
Yeah,
I would say
exactly.
overall it's easier for women than men. Yeah.
I would
Like, if-
probably
if-
agree.
Easier in what regard? What are we talking about here?
I mean, I just think
Just
as
being a man versus being a woman. You're saying it's easier to be a
I
woman?
mean, okay, I'll give you an example. So I worked a sales job, right? And when I worked in that sales job, it was at a big like corporate company, and I feel like I got special treatment because I was a woman. And most of the guys, I was the only girl in the office, and most of the guys would agree because like people were more willing to help you when you're a young woman. In my experience.
So I can't speak to your personal experience, but so this is something that I hear a lot. When women are succeeding in certain types of environments, they do get special treatment, but all of those women's careers have a time limit on them, which is until a manager or a boss tries to fuck them, and when they say no, they're basically fucked in that job. This is a story that I hear time and time and time and time and time again. Do you think this happens ever?
Quite often, the
Yes.
boss loses his job.
No. Absolutely
Every
not.
time
If
there's
he-
a story
if he
about it.
does
Absolutely.
sexual
Every time the
harassment?
story goes public, but you don't hear the story that goes public. Like this happens to I've heard this from almost every single woman working in entertainment and working in any industry peripheral to this, that if you're a moderately attractive woman working, yeah, like you're working, you might be succeeding, but you never know if you're actually succeeding based on the merits of your work or if it's because somebody wants to fuck you. And when somebody tries to fuck you, if you shut them down, you're fucked. Because whoever's above you hates you now and they're never going to fucking promote you or work with you anymore. And then you slowly basically get ghosted out of whatever job you're working.
You
Is
can
that
go
a
either way, or you go
generalization,
to
though,
HR
or is
and
that-
you make $1 million.
Do what?
Or you go to HR and the dude gets fired and then you get a settlement.
That just doesn't happen most of the time. I think with especially like PUA, red pill guys live in this delusional world where like every guy's getting false sex claims, every creepy boss or pervert is getting fired.
No, I don't believe
Everyone,
that.
Yeah, this happens like 0.0001% of the time. Like it's very, very rare that somebody actually gets caught or called out on this. Because usually when these guys are propositioning, you don't even, they're not really even being 100% forward with it, right? So you're not going to get them on anything, right?
Actually, 8% of the U.S. population claims they've been falsely accused.
That's okay. But with that poll, was that poll falsely accused to the police, or was that poll like my friend told another friend that somebody like raped me?
It was probably the latter.
It was absolutely the latter, because 8% of false rape allegations to the police, everybody would be talking about it. I know that's not true.
Yeah, I agree with you on the false rape accusations. You're as likely to get convicted as you are to get struck by lightning. I've read that stat.
Huh. So again, you disagree with Pearl on the fundamental situation that women have it easier than men. Here's my perspective. Argue, counterback, pushback. I always ask this question. I said, who has it harder out there, men or women? And constantly I hear, well, men have it harder, bro. We got to fucking dig the ditches. We got to have the tough jobs. We're the one that got to pay the bills. Men have it harder. And I said, little food for thought. Here's why I think women have it harder in today's society. I want to open up to you guys. As a man, I'm all about clarity. As a man, it might be hard to make money, to be fit, to learn game, to pick up chicks, to be successful. It might be hard, but at least you know the pattern for success. At least there's a blueprint. Here's what you need to do. Put a fucking nice suit on or some nice sweatpants for destiny. Look good. Get your ass out there. Meet people. Succeed. Make money. The world's your oyster. Now, what's your advice to women? Is it get out there, get a career, get a job, kill it? Maybe. Or is it be a good wife, be submissive, don't be a fucking bitch, like don't go on OnlyFans, be a good housewife, stay in the kitchen, be a traditional woman? Which one is it? Because it's totally polarizing opposite advice for women. So again, I'm all about clarity. It's very easy for me to look in the camera, talk to you guys out there and be like, you're too fat, you're too lazy, stop smoking weed, stop watching porn, get your ass out there, work, do your thing. You'll find success. Done. Blueprint. As a woman, what do you say to a woman? Go get a job, go to college, be a boss, babe. Now you're single and lonely at 40. Hey, don't get a job, you know, get yourself a husband, let the man lead, you be the follower. It's like now you're divorced at 40 because you're in a sexist marriage. So it is very hard for a woman. So my argument is it's actually a lot harder for a woman to decide what to do. What's your argument to that, Pearl?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what outcome you want. So, I mean, I think you make different choices based on the outcome you want.
Okay. So how do you know, but like this goes back to my college thing, is how do you know what your outcome you want when you're 16, 17, 18 years old? Very hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a challenge that women have. I agree with you.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I don't like the saying like one is harder or one is easier. I think that women have very unique challenges they face. I think men have unique challenges they face. I don't know if I would ever say that one is harder or one is easier. Like if you are a pretty woman, you can get your feet in the door in a lot of different ways that men can't.
But then you get sexually harassed.
But then there's the trade-off is that everybody's trying to fuck you, right? That's a pro, everybody's trying to fuck you, but it's also a big con that everybody's trying to fuck you. I think of all like the archetypes of women that I've met in my life, I feel like really hard-working but very pretty women have it probably the worst because they're constantly gaslighting themselves into having no idea if they're actually achieving or being successful, or if everybody's just like basically giving them handouts because they want to fuck them eventually. And like living in that kind of like duality is a very, very confusing place to be. Like as a man, like if I'm getting credit for something, As much as I like to believe it, it's not because some woman wants to fuck me.
No.
It's because I'm actually succeeding
no,
somewhere,
so
right?
they all want to fuck you, bro.
Sure, yeah.
The only reason I have you on the show is because we're all trying to fuck you.
But for like a woman, yeah, you legitimately have no fucking idea. Like, am I performing well? My boss giving me a lot of compliments. My coworkers seem to like me. Am I getting a leg up everywhere? Because you do get a lot of help. If you're a woman in computer science, you're the only woman in the class. Well, at least for white women, you're getting a lot of fucking help in that class compared to anybody else.
Let
right?
me recap what you just said, bro, because that's very powerful. If you're a hardworking, working, attractive woman, then what?
You never know, like, are you successful on your own merits, or is everybody around you just gaslighting you into thinking that while they're trying to fuck you?
I think a woman would know.
Well, I was just
you would know, like, oh, I really put in work, like, I achieved this recognition because this work it's phenomenal, versus, like, you can tell by how they address you, how they speak with you. Because I do agree with you. You're in a workplace, and there are men who want that intention. But as a woman, you can approach that situation knowing that that's their intention. So I think as a woman, like, you can determine, like, am I getting this credible, am I getting credit based on my work, or am I getting credit based on my looks? Like, as a woman who is attractive, like, you can tell. Like, you can tell when a man's flirting with you. You can tell when a man wants something from you. You can see that.
I think I would agree with you for the most part, but I think there's two things. One, I think every attractive woman goes through a point in her life where she realizes, like, fuck, a lot of this has come from my looks. I think that comes a little bit later than, at least as a guy, we would assume. Right. And then two, I think that it gets really hard around, like, edge cases where you're, like, trailblazing, right? If you're, like, in a sales department and you've got, like, fucking numbers, right, and you can see, like, obviously I'm outperforming, that's fine. But if you're working in, like, entertainment, or if you can reach out to, like, CEOs of companies and they're calling you back, or if you're getting, like, invited to podcasts or whatever, there's always this, like, whatever. And I think a lot of guys are really good at disguising their intentions, where a guy can treat you in the most respectful manner possible until you're traveling to some fucking convention in the same place somewhere, and then he tries to get you drunk and rape you. I think that it's really, really difficult sometimes to feel out, like, the fuzzy edge cases. If there's guys that are, like, blatantly sucking up to you, can tell. But I think it's just a weird thing for women to always have that in the back of our head, whereas for guys, there's not a time in our lives.
You
where
can make that
Attractive
argument for a
women
really
know, though.
successful guy, that you never know if the girl's into him for him or his money.
Very good point.
That is true as
Very
well.
good point.
Is
Go
that-
deeper.
I
You're
think
saying-
it's better for
you're
women to
saying
hide
for a
that.
guy,
Yeah, if you're
the
a guy
more
who's big-
successful
Hide
you
that.
are, you're like, does she love me for me, or the fact that I make $1 million a
Yes.
year? That's something
you know
that's a
who's
very
even
good point.
You know who's even better at disguising their intentions than men? Women are. Women
Yes.
are much better playing the
agree with
game.
that. I agree with you.
Go ahead,
I
Alex.
agree
Play
with
with
you.
fire.
We don't
Go
talk-
deeper,
and we
buddy.
don't talk about the
Yeah.
women that flirt with their bosses to get ahead too.
Yeah.
Of course.
So a lot of times, like, these girls will flirt with their bosses and then play victim later.
Yeah, well,
Like-
fundamentally agree on that. But Alex, I want to kind of stay where you were at. You're saying, all right, cool, we're shitting on guys and being kind of shady or whatever. But holy shit, some of
women
these
can
girls.
be just as shady when they're messing with a successful guy,
Yes.
especially in Miami. And a lot of these rich guys, they get completely screwed. They are like, fuck, they get drained for all their money because they fucked with the wrong girl and then she
Yeah.
took pretty much everything.
What have you seen? Have you seen an
I've
actual
seen,
example?
I've had countless clients who've had that happen to them. Yeah, they got married early, then they, their business became successful, or they got married when their business was already successful to the wrong kind of girl, right? So screening
Yeah.
is important for both genders. I don't think it's only something that women have to screen with
So
the people in their
what
life.
I've-
Men also
I've-
have to screen.
Real quick, that could be possible. I would be curious what type of guy it is. Maybe because this might be my bubble because of the industry that I work in. But it's very easy for me to tell immediately how a girl feels about me, if she's like fake or not. Because like you either know everything that I'm involved in or not. Like if a girl came up to me and she wanted to have like an in-depth conversation about like fucking fiscal policy to try to fake me out for my money, I mean, I'll pay her off. Like good job.
You don't think women can, wait, you don't think
You got
women,
me, girl.
You
Yeah.
don't think a woman can tell when a guy's trying to fuck them? Most women can tell that too.
No, I think women can tell, but I'm just saying that like if a woman is trying to just like get in good with me because she thinks I've got
Right.
money, like I think I'm gonna be able to weed that out really fucking
Right,
fast.
but
Here's what I
You're
want to
fairly-
address. Here's what I want to address. If you're that dude and you're having success and you're doing things in your life and you're single and you're out there, what type of question should you ask these women to vet them? Because I totally agree with you. There's women out there that see a dollar sign on a guy and they're like, sugar daddy just walked in. Like there's a video of a girl that she's like, here's the best place to find a sugar daddy. You don't go to clubs. You don't go to strip clubs. You go to the nice restaurants because there they are. They're all together. I call it the sugar daddy watering hole. I've seen this girl do this video. And she's like, they're all at the nicest restaurants in Miami or New York or LA, whatever. And they're all eating together doing their thing. So you, as a dating coach, what types of questions should a man ask women up front to kind of vet what the woman is looking for.
I think it's less about questions and more about not leading with your money. So I like the Dave Chappelle joke where he says, like, when I have a date, I drive up in a dumpster truck. And then when the girl's like, oh, I don't want to date a dumpster driver, he's like, I'm Dave Chappelle, bitch. So I kind of like that like whole idea that you're not taking the girl to a fancy restaurant. You're not leading with your money. You're not like showing off your car. You're keeping all that hidden until you get to know her. And if she legitimately fucks with you without seeing all your wealth, then it's like a nice cherry on the top. So that's what I would recommend.
I feel like that is
lead
a
with your money.
very idealistic, hey, I just happen to be Dave Chappelle answer, but that's not the reality because we live in Miami. You know what it's like. You kind of got to give a little bit of crumbs, a little bit, and then you can kind of reveal. But okay, but even to get the date with the girl, like if you're just some dude at the bar, you're going to have to say something to be like, well, I do this for work and I do this. Like, I'm not saying you have to drive up in your Lamborghini and take her to home to your mansion, but you have to say like, well, yeah, I'm actually like, I own this bar, or like, yeah, my friends own this bar, or yeah, like I'm an attorney, or whatever. You're gonna have to give them some sort of game, but you do have to have a conversation, ask some questions. So I fully agree. Don't just let the money do the talking for you, but you do have to ask some questions.
I think you got to be cognizant
What
of the behavior.
questions would you actually ask them?
I don't think there's a specific question I would ask the girl. I think I would just literally not do any of the stuff you're saying. I would not, if I was the owner of the bar, if I was just trying to get laid, yeah, sure, I would use that to my advantage. But if I was looking for a relationship, I would leave all that part out. I would not stress the fact that, I'm friends with the owner. I would leave all that out. I think you can also just have a good game and make the girl laugh and build a lot of sexual tension and lead with that instead of leading with possessions of money.
I think I actually just answered my own question, and I think that the answer is you need to ask them questions.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a specific question. I think I just answered what I was trying to ask you. I see this problem, whether it's in business or whether it's in dating, guys just want to talk about themselves. And it's like, selling isn't telling, selling is asking. Okay, so, hey, what are you doing here? Who are you here with? What are you guys looking to do tonight? And if you're getting, like, you'll get these answers.
Yeah.
We're just trying to find a dude with a yacht. If I had a fucking dollar for every time a girl said that, I'd be fucking gazillionaire. We're just trying to find a yacht to party on. It's like, cool, good luck with that yacht. If they're like, hey, yeah, I'm just visiting like my grandma and I'm in town, it's like, cool, family values, got it, boom, boom. Asking questions is the best thing you could do.
I guess you could ask.
I think you're saying there's no specific questions, which I think there are.
I changed my mind about, actually. You could ask what type of guys does she usually date. You could ask about her
Okay, well, there we go,
relationships.
baby. You are changing your mind. There's questions.
You've changed my mind, yeah. You could
Okay,
ask that, yeah.
So what questions would you ask?
I would ask about her, like, once we're already talking or vibing, I would ask about her last relationship. I'd be like, oh, yeah, so what kind of guys are you usually into?
Yeah.
I would start off with that. She would tell me, be like, oh, cool. So are you with the typical Miami sugar baby? And then see how she responds to that.
Yeah.
She'd be like, no, my last guy was broke. Okay, that's something. Or she's like, well, I do like millionaires. And that's a different story.
I think the question that we asked yesterday is actually probably one of the first questions you should ask a girl. How's your relationship with your dad?
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna ask that on a first date. Don't get me wrong. I mean, on a first time, you're not gonna go up to a girl in a bar and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Can I buy you a drink? How do you get along with your dad?" But I think that is a very important question to ask a girl. Like, I don't think it's a very weird situation. I don't think it's a coincidence that Pearl is the girl she is, and she has an amazing relationship with her father. I think that is the reason that is the girl as she is. Would you agree or disagree?
No, I agree. I look up
Give
to
a shout out to your dad right now,
shout
real
out,
quick.
Dad. No, I look up to my dad a lot. Like a lot of I don't know. I feel like a lot of the reasons like I do things that I do is like I was always trying to like make my dad proud. I don't, which is kind of lame, I know, but I don't know. Sorry.
I think your dad is really proud.
Sorry.
Okay. What, like, dude, I'm gonna give you some credit here. I've seen your girl. She's cute. You get girls.
Okay.
Despite the pajamas, you get girls.
It's because of the pajamas.
It's because of the
I like to
pajamas.
stand out, you know?
That's
In a room
is that-
full of guys with suits.
Is
I'm
that
the
what they
only
call
one
you, the
in sweatpants.
tripod? That's what they called you in high school,
exactly,
right?
yeah, of course.
Respect. What was your game when you're talking to girls? Like, what kind of questions are you asking? What's your game, right? Like,
This is going to sound the most cuck shit in the world. I don't mean to make it sound that way. But yeah, just like treating people like normal fucking human beings usually works. That thing that you just said about asking questions that's not even a good. It's a good pickup technique, but that's a good conversational technique. Period.
That's just
right?
good for humans.
Yeah, if you're talking to people
Yes.
and you ask them questions
Yes.
and you refer back like jokingly to things they've said, like it creates in the other person's mind that you have a huge interest in that person.
Yeah.
It is exceedingly rare that a guy or a girl on a date gets asked a lot of meaningful questions about who they are, where they come from, what they want to do, how they feel about things. If you can be the person to give somebody that conversation, it leaves them, like, I'll have conversation, I'll come back, the person doesn't know a fucking thing about me because they didn't say shit. And they're like, oh yeah, like I feel like a really good conversation last night. Like I remember that like a lot. So that's like a really good starting point, I think, is being able to talk to somebody, connect to somebody.
I will say that you are smarter than most, and you do have a gift of gab. So you're better than most. So you've got, like, someone said this the other day. They said, you know, like women want a provider, a protector to be present, and then they said that the protecting thing, you might have even been you.
I think so.
I think it was
cope.
being a verbal protector, meaning like some girls want a guy who's a protector. You thinking, oh, he's going to protect you, but sometimes it's just a guy who's quick and sharp and that can defend his woman.
That's true.
Verbally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's you.
Like somebody that's confident but not meek. I think confidence is always a good trait for all men.
1000% agree.
For sure.
If you ask a girl, like, give me your top 3 qualities, you probably asked a girl this a million times.
It's got to be funny one, right? Yeah.
You're always going to get funny, smart, handsome, attractive, good looking. There's like things that go down the list. Confidence is at the top 3 of every woman's list. Have you not heard that a million times?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think
dating
confidence even bleeds into other things as well. Like the type of humor that you can employ sometimes will come down to how confident you are about a person and everything too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh my! So I would say it's funny you say that. My buddy would say he would go, so, dude, you say things to girls that if I said to them, I'd be in jail.
Yeah.
But he's like, because you do it in a confident, joking manner, you get away with it. He's like, I don't know how you do it. I was like, well, number one, you're creepy as fuck, dude. So you probably got to work on that. Not you, to my buddy.
No, I know what you mean.
But I'm very playful with it. Like,
Yeah.
so for instance, I'll give you one example. You're like, all right, give me an example. How many times have you been in this situation? All right, so hey, like, we're gonna go back to my place and we're gonna have fun later or whatever. Mm-hmm. She goes, you're not a murderer, right? And I'm like, oh no, yeah, I'm gonna murder you. Yeah, 100%. Like, you lean into the joke. She's like, ha 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 ha. Well, like, if you're like, no, I would never murder you. It's like, that's exactly what a murderer would say.
If you say
that's
yes,
true.
we're more
Yes.
likely to go.
So I'm just point is like, there's things you could joke about.
There's a really good example of this on
Yes.
it was on one of those fucking dating panel shows or whatever. I bet everybody here has seen it. But it's the clip of the girl is like, I think she's like, let's say we get into a fight over something, what would you do? And there's like one guy that I think he's like in a hoodie and sweats or whatever.
Oh,
He's
I
saying,
remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
saying like, well, first I would gaslight you into thinking it was your fault. Then I would ignore you for 3 months to create dependency. Then afterwards maybe we go out for a movie or something like, or whatever. It was a really funny answer. And it showed a lot of insight into like a lot of things. Like a lot of dumb people came away from that thinking like, wow, she picked him just because he's an asshole. But the reality was the answer was funny. It was clever. It
Yes.
showed insight into a lot of dating pitfalls. And I think that like things like that are why the person like opted towards that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that on Always Sunny? What was that?
No, it was a
Some
real. It was a.
dating
some dating show, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
some YouTube dating show.
Is it like a
where-
Jubilee thing or something?
It was like
I
a
don't
Jubilee knockoff.
think so.
It
Yeah, it's a
wasn't
knockoff.
Jubilee, yeah.
But by the way, that comes from confidence. Having enough confidence to be like, all right, I'm gonna throw some fucking weird shit this girl's way, see what she
sure.
says.
Although
And
I
she
will
ate
say,
it up, yes or no?
Yeah, of course she loved it.
Okay,
Yeah,
she loved
but
it.
you can go wrong there too. There are times where you can lean too hard. Like you miss some.
Yeah, go on.
I was just saying that you miss some.
Is there an example you're thinking of? You're laughing.
There was some girls. Sometimes when I go back to Omaha, I'll hop on Tinder. I'll see if I can hang out with somebody for a day or two. And this happened like a year or two ago. But I remember there was some girl. We wanted to go out to eat, and usually if I've got him like out to like go eat, usually we're good at that point. And I don't remember what it was. She was a big Trump supporter, and usually like I can joke a lot, like politically people are cool. But I made a joke that was pretty hard, and I could tell from the rest of the dinner she was.
What
like,
was the
what was the
joke?
joke?
I don't remember.
Oh.
It was something. It was
Here's
something
the
about
most
like.
awkward joke ever, Destiny.
No, it
go.
wasn't even awkward. It was something about she was complaining about something about Pelosi's pens or something. She used like gold pens to sign some shit. And I think I made a joke about Trump buying cheeseburgers. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't even that edgy of a joke, but I could tell she got like really mad. And by that point she was like done. So there's probably times you could push too hard and it's like, oh fuck, you fucked up.
Question for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Because you have a open relationship with
Yeah.
your girl.
Yep.
And you also have an open relationship with your girl.
One-way open relationship, but yeah.
Okay, she's sitting right there. How you doing? That's not.
Just want to clarify that real quick.
It's one way. Okay.